Governor, you mentioned more than 10,000 people have died in the state of New Jersey during this crisis. A unacceptably huge, devastatingly huge chunk of those have come in long-term care facilities, veterans' homes, nursing homes. On March 31st, the New Jersey Health Commissioner put in place a rule that those long-term care facilities had to readmit COVID patients from the hospitals. They couldn't test them. They couldn't ask them anything about their COVID diagnosis, whether they still had it. Was that a mistake, and are you looking at overturning that in the same way that Governor Cuomo did in New York?
Yeah, so Willie, the tragedy within the tragedy, you've said it, is in long-term care facilities. That's not just in New Jersey, it's in the country, but it certainly is in New Jersey. And a big percentage of the lost lives come from there, including, as you said, from our veterans' homes. It's been an incredibly uneven performance by the operators. We started long before March 31st. Our Department of Health started on this with directives for long-term care. We've put the National Guard in. The VA is in these homes. The Attorney General is actually doing an investigation. We hired a national firm, not just to tell us when this is over what we could have done differently. We want them to tell us now what we could do differently or could have done differently. They're actually working on that right now. I don't want to jump the gun. I would hope in the next couple of weeks we're going to go live with steps not just on what we should do going forward, but what we should have done. And I will wait until then to make any statements about what may or may not have been done that was either aggressive or not sufficiently in front of this. No state was prepared. No long-term care facility infrastructure as an industry matter was prepared. And as I said, the performance was incredibly uneven. But we're looking at it every which way.
Yeah, and certainly operators do deserve some of the blame for the way they've protected their residents. But you had a pretty explicit case of let's let some of these people back from the hospital into the homes based on a health commissioner's order, and then outbreaks in those homes. So as you look at it, as Governor Cuomo has finally said that that was a mistake, do you believe that that order was a mistake just based on the data and the evidence and what happened once some of those patients went back into the long-term facilities?
Yeah, I think, Willie, one of the points that needs to be made, even at every step of the way, there's been a strong directive toward cohorting patients. And that's been part of our mantra, our health commissioner's leadership from day one. But again, we've had an outside independent team looking at long-term care now going on a month. And they're going to hold up a mirror to what we've done and what we should do as an industry going forward. And I want to wait to see what they come back with.
And do you have just a gut feeling, I know you want to wait for that, but about whether or not it's a good idea to send patients who've had COVID, who've tested positive for COVID, and put them back into those group settings?
Well, I think if they're cohorted, Willie, that's a different reality than just throwing people into the mix. And cohorting was something that was part of our health commissioner's directives from day one. That seems to me, you've got another issue here, by the way, which we haven't talked about. You've got heroic staff going in and out every day. Early on, it's pretty clear that you had some asymptomatic carriers who did not realize it and unwittingly passed it on cross generations, which is another reality here that we've been dealing with and trying to make sure we've managed that through aggressive testing and cohorting of staff as well.